Hey guys, what is going on? Scorpion66 here, coming at you with a video I seem to remake every year now, and that is my top 10 favorite games of all time with some honorable mentions. Now, I do this every year because, sometimes I play games that make it onto this list, and I don't know, I just like doing these because I don't talk about some of my my favorite games all that often, so it's just cool for me to be able to sit down and tell you guys, what my favorite games are and why, and so before we get into the actual top 10, I grabbed some honorable mentions. I believe there are 7. The first one is Super Punch-Out. Just a fun game. I mean, there's nothing spectacular about its story or anything. It's just a really fun game. The next one used to be on my top 10, but through other games it kind of got knocked off. Fire Emblem Awakening. One of the best experiences I've had with a game in many, many years. I really love the combat system. I really love the romance system, and I love strategy RPGs, and the story was good. So yeah, a really fun game. Definitely a need if you have a 3DS. 3 N64 games. The first one is Mario 64. Obvious classic. Many people's favorite game of all time, if not top 3. Lots of nostalgia. I can make an hour-long video on just my memories with this game. So yeah, fun game. The next is Conker's Bad Fur Day. One of the funniest games I've ever played, and another really incredible experience. So if you can find this for pretty cheap, definitely grab it. And then the last one is kind of weird to some people, but it's part of a series of games that I chose. Mortal Kombat 4. It's just another one of my favorite fighting games. Excuse me for a second. It's just one of my favorite fighting games. It was the first game I really ever played, so yeah. And also go along with that, Mortal Kombat 2 and 9 as well. Yeah, I couldn't really choose which one I liked the most. This one has the most nostalgia. This is easily the best 2D one, and then this is probably the best 3D one. So yeah. And one last mention before I begin. It would have to be Sonic Adventure 2. Yeah, this game is just amazing. One of the best 3D platformers. So yeah. Without further ado, let us get into the literal top 10. So before we start that, this is based on my opinions, just what I think is fun. It's not like, oh, the most essential core experiences in video gaming, but they're just some of my favorites. So yeah, now without further ado, let's hop into the top 10. So starting us off at number 10, it is Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. I just got this game within the last few months, but I think it is one of the best, if not the best, 2D platformers ever. And reasons why I say that are, first off, the game looks amazing. The Super FX2 chip that they installed on this it makes the game so much better looking than any other Super Nintendo game probably. The music is really, really happy. But I really love the platforming, how tight and precise it is. I love all the innovations they made with Yoshi, with turning him into different forms, and the egg spitting and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of people gripe on the fact that Baby Mario cries in this, but I actually think that makes me want to get my ass over there faster to get him. So I really like that element actually. So yeah, just a really fun game. Number 10 is Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. So, coming in at number 9 is Fallout 3. Now, here I have the Game of the Year edition, which comes with all the DLC, which is my preferable version. So, yeah, Fallout 3. One of the first games I got of last generation. I remember I got my Xbox, and within a month I bought this, just on a whim, and I loved every minute of it. I really love the RPG system. It's really refined, and it's really simple, but it's still really fun. The leveling up comes at the perfect times. The story is actually kind of interesting, and just the world to explore. It makes you feel so empty and isolated, and that's what I love about it, because that's what they were going for, and they nailed it. Yeah, and the game's just limitless with what you can do. You can be good, you can be bad, you can be neutral, you can join this faction, you can join that faction. If you want to kill everybody, you can kill everybody. So yeah, so much to do in this game. It has almost limitless replayability in my opinion. So yeah, guys, definitely one to pick up. I think the Game of the Year edition sealed at GameStop is $20, so definitely pick that one up. Number 9, Fallout 3. So coming in at number 8 is a game I kind of have some nostalgia with. and that is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Now, I don't have nostalgia with this version, I have nostalgia with the Wii version, because I remember day one, my parents bought a Wii, and what was the game everybody bought with their Wii besides Wii Sports? Twilight Princess. But I prefer the GameCube version, that's why I'm showing you this. But, yeah, Twilight Princess is a lot of people's least favorite Zelda game, or one of them, but I absolutely adore it. I really love the art style. It's like Wind Waker-esque, if Wind Waker was a bit darker. And yeah, I love everything about the game. I love exploring Hyrule Field, which a lot of people didn't like. I actually enjoyed the wolf form. I thought it was pretty interesting. And also the dungeons are some of my favorite. But yeah, just a really fun Zelda game. If you guys think you hate on this game and you only played it like once when it first came out, I encourage you to try and get this version and try it, because it is a lot better on the GameCube, in my personal opinion. So yeah, coming in at number 8, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Coming in at number 7 is another game I bought kind of recently. I guess it's almost been a year actually now. But that is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Now, I absolutely adore this game. Ever since the day I got it, I put it in, I knew this was going to be a groundbreaker for me. The game is just amazing. I mean, I love the Metroid... I know a lot of people hate this word, but the Metroidvania series of gaming, it's probably my favorite. You know, there's just something so cool from seeing your character go from nothing to being this ultra powerful character at the end that can destroy any boss within a few hits. I really love the castle. It has so many different locations for being a castle. The graphics, the music, just everything about this game. It flows together so well, and it gives you so many hours of play. You can speed run it, you can, you know, take your time, find 100%, clear the whole map, you know, everything. Just, again, another game with a lot of replayability, and yeah, just an amazing game. So, coming in at number 7, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So, coming in at number 6 is a game I just experienced within the last year, and that is Earthbound. Now, obviously, this is not an original copy, but this is the uncut version, which has all the censorship taken out and everything. But yeah, Earthbound, what can I really say that hasn't been said? The internet loves this game, the gaming community seems to love this game, and for obvious reasons. First off, the music and the graphics, some of the best on the Super Nintendo. Some of the best of all time, in my personal opinion. Also, the humor of the game is really different for an RPG. You know, usually RPGs are so, you know, serious, you're saving the world, and in this you're a kid using cracked baseball bats to kill enemies and monsters, and you can make such a long video on this, and so many people have reviews of it, it's kind of pointless to talk about it in depth like I was going to. But yeah, it's a modern day RPG. It's really funny and interesting, and yeah, I recommend watching any of the videos about it because I can't really do the game justice here. So yeah, coming out at number 6 is Earthbound. So coming in at number 5 is the sequel to Earthbound, and that is Mother 3. You know, obviously the game never came out in America, so this is a reproduction. But yeah, it's a shame this game hasn't come out in America, because I think a lot more people would love this game over Earthbound. I personally do, and that's kind of an unpopular opinion, I guess. But yeah, in my personal opinion, this just takes everything Earthbound did and does it so much better. The humor is there, but there's way more character development. You know, just... there's so many serious moments in this too that it makes those lighthearted situations just that much better, and vice versa. There's so many lighthearted situations that it makes these emotional moments hurt just so much. Like, even by the end of the first chapter of the game, I was tearing up, because even in the first chapter you learn so much about these characters, you care so much about these characters that when this one event happens you're like, oh my god. So yeah, a really amazing experience. I'm not even going to say it's a game, because it's just a standard RPG like Earthbound. It's more of an experience than it is a game. So yeah, there's not much I can really say about this one. An amazing experience, and if you can find a reproduction cartridge for it pretty cheap, I definitely recommend it, especially if you love Earthbound. So yeah, coming in at number 5, Mother 3. Coming in at number 4, this is really hard deciding between these next two games, because on one hand I have a game I just experienced and it was amazing, and then on the other hand I have one of the most nostalgic and most played games in my history. But coming in at number 4 is Super Smash Bros. Melee. Like I said, pretty much any of these top 4 could switch positions, But yeah, this is easily my most played game. I forget exactly how many hours I have in this, but from learning to play competitively like I have been lately, to just all the time I spent playing it as a kid with my brother and my friends, and you know, just there's so much nostalgia behind this game for me. And as a game itself, it's probably my favorite fighting game. There's just so much to do, so many characters, so many awesome stages. There's not a bad stage in this game in my personal opinion. All the characters are fun, and just, yeah, if you have friends, even playing the single player, I play the single player all the time, but if you have friends, this is definitely choice number one for me. It's just so much fun to play with friends, and, you know, especially if you have friends that play competitively too, so, yeah. Coming at number 4, Super Smash Bros. Melee. So coming in at number 3 is one of the best experiences in all of gaming, and that is Chrono Trigger. Now, there's so much to say about this game. I mean, even for somebody that experienced The Last of Us, this story still is probably my favorite in all of gaming. Just, there's so much layers to it, and again, I'm not going to be able to say everything I want to say or even give this game any justice in the amount of time that I want to talk about it, but perfection incarnate. The next 3 games are all perfection incarnate to me. Graphics and sound are some of the best of all time. The character development of some of these characters is insane. One specific one is just crazy. You know, the locales you visit are awesome. The leveling up is very well done. The magic system's really easy to use. The attack system is really simple, and I love the action RPG elements to it and how you actually see the enemies on the map. It's just, I have a review on my channel. Even that doesn't do this game justice. Go watch multiple reviews and see why this game is so heavily praised by me and a lot of the other gaming community. But yeah, I definitely recommend all of you to try the DS version. It's technically the best one. It has cutscenes in it drawn by Akira Toriyama, the guy that does Dragon Ball. And yeah, speaking of which, I have a Chrono Trigger shirt on right now. But yeah, amazing game, amazing experience, definitely a must-play, and I believe it is on the eShop. I could be wrong, but if it's on the eShop, definitely try it. So, coming in at number 3, Chrono Trigger. So coming in at number 2, again, any of these top 4 games could switch spots, but this is just where it falls on my radar right now. Coming at number 2, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Now, before any of you comment and say, oh, Ocarina of Time is better, or oh, you're just on the bandwagon, I've been saying Majora's Mask is better since I could voice opinions about games. I mean, even as a kid, I had both Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and just always preferred this. So, yeah, little rant out of the way. Why I enjoy this game. Where to begin? The soundtrack is one of my favorites of all time. The graphics for N64 standards, since it used the expansion pack, are really sharp and beautiful. You know, and then it comes down to what makes Majora's Mask different from Ocarina of Time. A, the condensing of the world map makes it so much better. B, the masks, so fun to collect and use. C, the moon falling, it really gives you this perilous feeling that, you know, this world is going to end, these people are going to die, I need to do something. D, or whatever letter I'm on, I don't even care. The timer, I hate when people make, like, bitch about the timer, because that is supposed to make you feel like, oh shit, I gotta do this right now. Or, you know, these people are going to die, again, and you get super attached to these people, and just everything about it is just so well done, and it makes you feel so kind of isolated, but it also makes you feel really, like, in peril, and that you need to do certain quests right now. And it's just, it's an amazing game, and it's really an experience, especially if you don't quit your first time playing it, because you really do feel the terror of this moon following. So, yeah, amazing game. Coming at number 2, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. And coming in at number 1, my favorite video game of all time. Most of you guys know this by now by how much I reference it, and any of you who are friends with me outside of YouTube know how much I love the game. Super Metroid. The seminal gaming experience, in my personal opinion. I mean, there's nothing crazy to the story, but, You know, I mentioned this in the Symphony of the Night part of the top 10. This game makes you feel so helpless and isolated throughout the whole thing, but especially the beginning. It makes you feel like you don't have anything. And seeing Samus go from this weak character where it takes shots to kill, like 3 or 4 shots to kill the littlest of enemies, and then at the end can completely obliterating bosses in like no time flat, is just one of the coolest like feelings in all of gaming. Also, another thing, this game has so much replayability. Like, you see it at face value, if you 100% it, okay, the game's done. But this has a crazy amount of speedrunning, speedrunning. You know, you can try and get through the game 100% really fast, or you could go like do a low percent run where you try and limit the amount of items, or you do special runs where you skip entire bosses. It's just, there's a lot of replayability if you give a shit about speedrunning, and you know, just I literally can't do the game justice. There's so many reviews out there, you know, NES Complex, Some Call Me Johnny, or just some of the ones that come to mind. Eventually I want to do a full in-depth review because I love the game so much, and yeah, I just have to do the game justice, but I can't here. Just, if you guys can play this, I'm pretty sure it's on the eShop, and yeah, so definitely my favorite game of all time. Yeah, coming at number 1 is Super Metroid. So yeah, guys, that is my top 10 favorite games of all time with some honorable mentions. Again, just restating this, these are my personal opinions. It's not what I think are the end-all, be-all best gaming experiences. These are just my favorites from fun factor and how it impacted me as a gamer, how it shapes me as a gamer. So yeah, let me know what you think of the list down below. What would you put on? What would you leave out? And give me suggestions for other games, if I have them or not. I'd love to hear your guys' favorites and why. So yeah, down in the comments, throw me like your 2 or 3 favorite games of all time and why. I always respond to comments, and I love interacting with you guys, so that'd be cool to see. And yeah, guys, I'm sure in the future there's going to be other games I experience that are going to be put on this list, but you know, for now, this is what the list is to me. And yeah, so please like, comment, subscribe down below, guys, and until next time, take care.